Welcome to the brief yet powerful explanation of transportation models in operations management. So, I am Professor Pranav Indulkar, working at Maratha Mandir's Babasaheb Gowda Institute of Management Studies, and we are going to understand transportation model of operations management. So, to understand transportation model, we need to understand the businesses require transportation to be done, and it requires the cost to be minimized. So when a particular business has to minimize the cost, then the companies or the businesses can maximize the profit. So if we to minimize the cost, the model serves as a very efficient in terms of the business. So to understand the transportation model, we need to understand how it is formulated. So it is a special case of a linear programming problem where the cost is minimized, and there are different distribution centers and there are different retail outlets. So the transportation has to be done from the distribution center to a particular retail outlet, and when it needs to be done, then there is a particular cost which is associated, and the cost has to be minimized. So in order to do that, there are various methods of solving this particular transportation problem. So how this method is drafted? The method is very simple, that there is a transportation matrix which is created. It's called a transportation tableau. And in that table, the distribution centers, the retail outlets, they are mentioned. The cost is also mentioned. The cost per unit of transportation is mentioned, and the number of units in supply and demand is also mentioned. And accordingly, then the method is selected for optimizing a particular transportation problem. So then we move to the methods of solving the transportation problem. There are three methods of solving a transportation problem. The first is the northwest corner method. Now in this sort of method, the transportation allocation starts from the northwest corner and it goes on to the next northwest corner and so on. After that, a final schedule is prepared and the profit is calculated. The second is the least cost method. So in the least cost method, the transportation allocation starts from the least cost, and after the least cost is allocated, it moves to the second least cost wherever the supply demand requirements are met. And again, a final schedule of transportation is prepared to minimize the cost. The third is Vogel's approximation method. Now in Vogel's approximation method, the penalties are calculated. So it's a calculation based on the penalties to maximize the particular profit and minimize the particular cost. So after the penalties are found out and the cost is minimized, again a schedule is prepared to optimize the cost. Now apart from these three methods, there is a stepping stone method and modified distribution method which optimizes the cost further. So if a particular allocation is made and if we are supposed to find out whether the optimization done is accurate or inaccurate, we can use the modified distribution method and we can find it out whether we can further improve the solution to optimality or not. If the solution can be further optimized, then we go for the further transportation cost and we prepare another schedule which can again minimize the transportation cost. Now let's come to the real life applicability of the transportation model. Now big businesses like Flipkart, Amazon, they use this transportation model from their manufacturing center to the retail outlets to the final customer as well. So now in this case, the transportation model is being used by these big companies until the end customer. The companies like Zomato and Swiggy, they are optimizing this model so that the deliveries can be met to the customer and within the less time. Because if they are met to the customer within the less time, then the cost is also minimized. So therefore, this model has a true applicability in the real life situation. So therefore, this transportation model becomes very important for everyone's understanding. So I will request everyone to deep dive into this aspect of operations management, like learning the transportation model. And I would like all of the viewers to like, share and subscribe this video. Thank you very much.